Hi, this is Tommaso from Fleshgod Apocalypse, and you're watching Impact Channel.
Greetings everyone, we are here with Tommaso from Fleshgod Apocalypse. Hello.
Hello.
Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
So welcome to Hungary first. And how was the first few show in the European tour?
Very good. We had a good start. Yeah, I mean we're almost by the beginning. It's still the fourth show, but until now it was great, and you know the package is working very well. We worked with Karakangren many times before. We're finding ourselves very comfortable with Nightland too, but they're good friends from Italy, so you know we already knew them. So yeah, very good now.
Cool. And you celebrate the band's 10th anniversary this year. Do you have any plans for that anniversary?
You know, we've been so busy that we didn't think about anything particular for now, but I mean, I guess something will come up to mind. For now, you know, it's just the best way to celebrate, I guess. It's we're keeping playing as much as we can and enjoying what we do. So you know, that's in my head is the best way to celebrate the fact that it's 10 years that we're here now.
I agree. You have another side project called Sound City. Please tell us about that.
You know, more than a side project is a way to channel a lot of different kind of musical energies that I have. Because beside Fleshgod, I'm really a big fan of grunge music from the 90s. So that is like, it's just me and a couple of very good friends and very good musicians that sometimes for some reasons we find ourselves in the same place at the same time, because it's not very easy since I'm touring, and the drummer too is a classical percussionist, so he's touring a lot with orchestras and stuff. And when that happens, you know, sometimes we do some rehearsal, we play some shows, and what we do is we reproduce a little bit of the atmosphere of the MTV Unplugged of the 90s. So we play music from Nirvana, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, that kind of stuff. But I do a lot of stuff now. I'm slowly introducing myself into blues music. I got some friends from America that know much more than what I know, and that's very stimulating. So I try to keep myself busy musically, even in different environments, because I really need it, and I really find it stimulating also for what I do in Fleshgod Apocalypse, because it frees my mind from a lot of schemes that you have when you play always the same music. So when I go there, the energy is better for me.
Some people say the grunge scene kind of ruined the metal scene in the 90s. Some other people say it was one of the biggest influences for them in the 90s. So what do you think about that?
What I think is, at the beginning of the 90s, there have been more than one band and more than one genre that really changed the metal scene. I would never say it ruined the metal scene, because it's just really literally changed the metal scene, because the metal that existed from half 70s, when actually we can say it was actually born, to the end of the 80s was sounding in a certain way. And after the first years of the 90s it really changed. And I think the changes are due to two main facts. One is, yes, the grunge scene that changed the whole rock scene, and this obviously reflected on the metal scene too. But we don't have to forget that in those same years something else happened, and it's called Cowboys from Hell. Because, and in a certain way, the two things, in my view, are kind of work together, because a lot of metal music that came after that, even Korn, the new metal scene, or all the mathcore side of music, or like the Meshuggah style music, that obviously Meshuggah have a big influence of what's still happening today, but that still comes from Pantera.
Mhm.
So, and Pantera, in a way, in my opinion, did the same thing that the grunge music did to rock music, because they kind of synthesized whatever was happening before and made it much direct and stronger and based on different grooves and on this very violent impact that really influenced the metal scene from that on. Kind of in the same way the grunge did with the rock, because before that we had like the hair metal and like the glam rock, and then even rock became much darker.
Mhm.
So I think it was a period in which all the music went more into a sort of darker wave than before. So I would never say that it ruined the metal scene, because I really think that in a way the grunge impact was renewing the music, the popular music in general, the rock music and the metal music.
And it's interesting that they both had, blues influences in Pantera and in bands like Soundgarden and Pearl Jam, but they use it in a different way.
Yeah, absolutely. They kind of brought back that kind of the music into the heavy music, because in the previous years it was more into the melodic side, and then it became more based on the groove and on the riffing. So yeah, I agree.
And what do you think about the new metal madness that we had around the millennium? Korn, Slipknot, Cold Chamber, and the rest of them.
Same there. I mean, even on that side, like in every new musical fashion, I think there's always good ideas, because if something comes out so strongly, it means that there is good stuff into it. And then, like in every musical current, there have been a lot of, obviously a lot of bands that followed that style, and of those bands, some bands had something to say and some other just didn't.
Mhm.
So, but I really appreciated some of that stuff. I've been a Korn fan, like a hardcore Korn fan for a lot of years, because I really believe that their first 4 or 5 works were extremely interesting. And some people don't like it, and they see it like, even in that case, they see it like something that kind of ruined the metal scene. But even that, you cannot say that Korn was a metal band. It was a band that had a lot of things going on into their music. But I always think that whatever happens in the musical scene is always something that gives new infos and new stimulation for new music to come up, and it's never completely negative or positive. It's just something that adds stuff and gives new ideas.
Yeah, exactly. And they were really heavy anyway when they just, showed up. I mean, sounds like Daddy and all these songs were more than extreme around the time. Still kind of extreme in my opinion.
I totally agree with that, because if you free your mind from any strict concept of what is heavy or extreme, and you just accept music for what it is, you realize that there have been blues musicians in the 30s that were doing much heavier stuff than a lot of metal that is going on today.
Right.
So that's because heavy is something about a feeling, and this feeling can be created in many different ways and with many different sounds, but what arrives, what really hits you, is the fact that that is the difference between good music and bad music, in my opinion. Whatever really can, hit your heart and you can feel it, it means that there is something in there. Whatever doesn't, it could be that you don't like it, but most of the times if you have a good instinct, it means that probably there's not that much to be said. That's the point.
When I had a chat with Fernando from Municipal, he said the 90s was more or less about the formula of not having a formula.
Yeah.
So that's what, I think he was really right about that. What do you think?
Kinda. Yeah, I mean, and like every time, even in this case, this way of thinking created some very good things and some other that were not that good, because if you are thinking about not doing something, it's very dangerous, So I guess in whatever period it is, what I really believe is that good music, good art in general, always comes when there is someone who is very humble and able to just let things in and enjoy those things without thinking about using those things, and then in some magical way these things re-elaborate inside you and they come out with new art. But that's an artist, is someone who can first of all enjoy the art and not worry about creating art, because art is a need, it's not something that you can plan. So even when you are arranging a song or you're planning how your album should sound and blah blah blah, but still the ideas, the main ideas, they always come out when you're in the shower, not thinking about anything, or you're just, you know, like, I don't know, whatever, you know, or in a bad moment or in a very good moment, and that melody just comes out. Because it is something that is connected to, I think art is that something that really comes out of the, you know, unpredictable windows of your soul. That's the point. Like whenever something opens up and something comes out, that is art. Whenever you're free for a second, whenever you're not thinking about, worrying about anything for a second, that is when art comes out. And it's in writing a song, but also on stage. Playing on a stage is it's all about being able to maintain that state of mind as long as you can, holding that moment. If you can do it and you can get lost in the present for a few seconds, then people is going to feel it and it makes a difference, for real. So our job is all about learning how to be present.
You belong to a management called Hard Impact, which was founded by Maurizio and Stefan from Cataclysm. How would you
We got some warming up here.
How would you describe the cooperation with them?
Very good. It's, you know, first of all, the funny thing about it is that Maurizio speaks Italian, since he has Italian heritage, of course. So it's super cool because whenever we talk about things, we're continuously switching between English and Italian, and some language in between Italian and English.
Right.
So the fact that we are connected on that emotional level because of our heritage really helps. Because there's a common interest, he really believes in us, and same here. So I mean, it's a very good cooperation, and beside that, you know, it's working pretty well, and even Stefan is very good at what he does. So yeah, I mean, until now it's working really well, and we find ourselves pretty comfortable.
Maurizio said that he is missing the scene with a more masculine attitude, and he named Fleshgod as a fresh, positive example of what metal should be like. What do you think about it?
It makes me laugh because it's a typical thing that Maurizio would say. Like, yeah, you know. But because, as I said, it's because he really believes in Fleshgod, and the way also he approached us and the way we started talking about working together was actually because, beside, of course, you know, the economical aspect of working together, he really likes what we do. He likes also the approach, the fact that we're Italian, that in some way maybe it is a part of what we do, but not just because people know that we come from Italy, but maybe because also the kind of approach that is very passionate about things. It really comes up when doing things in general. We're very hard workers, so on every side we're always there for everything. And maybe this is something that also comes out with the music. But, you know, referring to Fleshgod Apocalypse, and it's very hard for me because I'm inside the band, so I'm not the one to judge this, but what I like is the fact that I believe that we have a good mix for what is my feeling, between something that is, on one hand, yeah, it is extremely heavy and masculine, but on the other hand, is extremely romantic. That's what I really like about it, because it's representative, in my opinion, of what is life, in a way. Like, you cannot have one thing without the other. You cannot have, I mean, the aspects of things, something is strong and communicative when there is both things, when there is the heart, but also the violent part of music. Because violent, not intended as something negative, but some channel in which you can really put all the negative things and in some way use it as a catharsis. So I really, even playing this music, I feel like that. I feel that the good thing is that there are things that are extremely romantic in the true meaning of the word, some kind of melodies that really are really moving for me when I play them. and they help me bring out certain emotions, but on the other hand there is all this dark part of the music that really helps other things to come out. So that's, you know, my feeling about it.
And what do you think about the current extreme metal scene nowadays, or generally speaking the metal scene?
You know, I don't know. I'm very confused about it, to be honest. It's a moment in which there are so many things happening in general, and it's so hard also to pick things because there's so much infos and so much music coming out that sometimes I feel like lost into it. I think we went through a moment in which there has been a very big saturation in music. So it's been hard for a few years to recognize things. But I kind of have the feelings that in this moment there's a kind of chaos in the music scene in general. And usually from chaos many good things come out, so I'm expecting fresh things to happen from now on. That's what's my feeling in general.
And what were your favorite records from last year?
Last year...
Beside King?
Yeah, of course. Let me think about it, because the problem is that I confused last year with the year before, because
time... I got the same problem.
Yeah, like time passes so fast that it's so hard to remember. What came out last year, not 2015? It was
Across from Obscura, Bloodshot from Inquisition, Gojira, Magma.
I like Gojira a lot. Gojira is interesting in general. They're doing a lot of interesting things. That is something that sounds different. Like using a lot of elements, because it's always like that. There's elements that you take from the past, from the present, and it's the way you put those elements. Because at this point, like, you can say, okay, everything has been done, but that's the secret. That's the thing, that in music, yeah, everything has been done, but everything has to be done in the meantime. So when I hear something like that, I always think like, okay, you see, you know, using things that exist, but you can always put them in a way that is interesting. And then what else? It was the last layer last year, yes?
It was Slayer. Well, actually, Anthrax,
I liked it.
Metallica, Dark Funeral, Abbat, first Abbat record, Rotting Christ.
I liked Abbat a lot. I liked the Slayer one. The video clips were amazing, of course. That's crazy. But you know, I mean, Slayer is one of those bands that they've always been there. Like you can like it or not. You can like more what they did in the past or not. But anyways, they never lose that vibe. They never lose that thing. I mean, they've been there for thousands of years, and it's unbelievable how they can still be so impressive whatever they do. I really respect them. I really like it. Yeah, a lot.
Fleshgod belongs to this new wave of extreme metal scene. What do you think about extremity, or what does extremity mean to you in general, or music-wise?
I honestly, I've never, I never like labels too much. But yeah, of course, it's normal that you use labels to describe things just to have a reference to tell someone, okay, this is this kind of music. So I guess that word extreme is used whenever there is something that is, yeah, extreme, but in this case probably it's more referred to the kind of timbres, the kind of sounds that you use, and the kind of speed and the amount of things that happen in the music. Even if, especially with King, I feel like even more than before, we kind of crossed that line and we started doing different things that can really, that maybe they start not being possible to be classified anymore only as extreme metal. Because if you, yeah, there are songs that, I mean, if you listen to The Fool or the Vulture Beholds. Okay, those songs can be more classified into the extreme metal because they're very fast and there's a lot of things going on into that music. But in the meantime, in this album there are songs like Coldest Perfection, like Syphilis, that are really, in some way they're very far from it. But in some way maybe they keep this extremity in the meaning that this feeling passes also when we do it. This is what is interesting to me, that I feel like even when I'm playing a song like that, like Syphilis, that is a super slow song, and it's something that we never did like that. We never did such a slow song, slow tempo, so it's almost doom song. But probably it's also something about the attitude of people that is playing the music, because, and you will see tonight because we play it, that extremity comes out anyways. So probably, as Morbid Angel said, extreme music for extreme people, that is extremity. Something, you are extreme, you cannot act extreme. So it means that whatever you do, there is that feeling that passes, that extremity that you have inside. So maybe that's the best way to describe it for me. I don't like it to say, okay, we're extreme because we play over 120 BPM or whatever. No, that's that's just a label, but whatever.
What do you think about Illu Divinum Insanus, by the way?
Man, some songs are totally great for me, even if a lot of people didn't like it. I mean, there are some things that maybe are here and there. There's some things that I can. Yeah, I don't know. No, but there are things that I really loved about it. So I'm not the one who's gonna, also because honestly, there are bands that, and I know this goes against the conception of judging the music in a very impartial way. But anyways, there are bands that I cannot judge. Morbid Angel are between those bands. I cannot judge them. I can just listen to them and I can just say it's Morbid Angel. If it wasn't for them, we were not here now, so whatever. They can experiment, they can fail, they can do good things, but for me they're always Morbid Angel. That's it.
How do you prepare yourself for the concerts?
I don't have any particular ritual. Usually what I do is just, I dress up, I put makeup on, I grab my guitar, I warm up a little bit. I don't push too much on warm up because if it becomes a mental thing, then it can ruin the show, because you don't have to get too much into the music before you get on stage. So you have to be distracted. And the only thing that I do actually almost always is I drink wine a little bit, not too much, but I do because I like it, I'm Italian. And just that little bit that helps to put down the pressure a little bit, that's good, it can help. But I'm not a heavy drinker, so very, very normal. But on these things, Fleshgod are, we don't have rituals, we don't say anything particular before going on stage. Everybody is doing his own thing, everybody is concentrating on his own thing, and then we go up and for some reason we stick together.
What are the most essential things you bring with yourself on tour?
A good book, because I need to read on tour. Most of the times I bring with me those books Zarathustra, even if I already read it like 1,000 times, but I always have it with me, because it's a kind of sort of existence manual, so I keep reading it all over again. My computer, because unfortunately there's a lot of paperwork to do when you're in a band, even if it's not the best, but you have to do it. What else? But this I bring it with me everywhere, not only on tour, because this comes from a very, very important friend of mine in a very, very important situation. So it's kind of borrowed, but it's a lifetime borrowing. And that's it, Clothes, of course. Those are the things. Nothing particular.
What was the worst food you ever had on tour?
The first?
Worst food.
The worst food? I think it was a particular pizza in a place in Canada that I don't remember. Sorry Canada, but that's true. But yeah, that's probably the worst I ever had.
And who was the craziest fan you ever met?
I could say who are probably the biggest fans of Fleshgod Apocalypse. And these two guys, one name is Kyle. He's from California. But the thing is that he's also a very good friend, but he's a real fan, like a real fan. And I mean, he prints all our personal passes. So he's not only a fan, he's a good friend, but he is like the fan, like the one who will always be there for everything and will always get albums and stuff. And whenever something new comes out, he's always there, like taking merchandise and stuff. But we have a very, it's a real friendship with him. And this other guy, also a good friend too, from Japan, Masami, who is like the biggest Japanese Fleshgod Apocalypse fan for sure, and maybe one of the biggest Fleshgod fans in the world for sure.
Well, many bands praise the Japanese audience for their commitment to music.
What? Sorry?
Many of the bands praise the Japanese audience for their
commitment. Yeah. No, they're unbelievable. They are like they have they really love music and they have an incredibly dedicated approach when it comes to music and being fans in the meaning of wanting to meet the people behind the music and talk to them and stuff like the band. From that point of view is crazy.
What's the message to your fans? So last few words.
Well, this is always difficult. Because I don't want to be cheesy, but the only thing that comes out to my mind every time is, but this is a message that I like to send to people in general, and I think it's the reason why I do what I do. And it's believe in what you do, because that's the only way to be happy. That's it. And thank you, of course, because you are the reason why we are here. Thanks.
Thank you for the interview.